live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! I'm excited for today's show, even though it's bright and early here in the States. I got my coffee in this bearded book beast mug that you can get your own version of. Oh, yeah, that's good. But I am excited because bright and early, I get to have on one of my bestest beasties. He is the author of these beautiful books right here, Eluthienn, and the newly released Isdria. I probably said that wrong. It might be Isdria. Isdria is how I say it, though. But I'm excited to have him on. It is Sam Middleton, fantastic author, and an even more fantastic person. We had a blast last time we talked. We've kept in touch. He's just a lovely person, and he's an awesome author that you need to check out. So I'm excited to have him on so that you can either get to know him for the first time if you missed our first chat, or get to catch up with him, with me, and see what's new and hear all about his new book and everything he has going on. So help me welcome to the stage my friend Sam Middleton. Welcome, Sam.
What an intro. And it is Isdria, by the way. You got that right.
Yes. I love when I get those things right. It doesn't happen often. Oh, man. So how have you been?
Yeah, very well. Very well. Just had, head down writing book 2, really.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Now, it's out, right?
Yeah. So it's been published about a week now, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was the beginning of October. Okay. Pretty awesome. How's it going so far? Have you gotten like some, I was going to say reviews and things like that coming in?
Yeah. So it's all 5 stars so far on Goodreads and Amazon. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. But I think, not to do myself a disservice, but I think you get the readers who really enjoyed book 1 and they come over to book 2. So you're always going to get reviews for book 2.
Yeah, especially early on, right? Because early on, nobody's going to hop into book 2 without reading book 1. So when it first releases, odds are it's people that already read book 1. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed book 1. You know that. I loved it. And then I read the short story. Is it a short story or a novella?
I think because of the length, it's technically a novella.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because it was a little longer than a short story. I really enjoyed that, and then I started reading Isdria, and I'm really digging it, man. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna have another 5-star review coming your way once I finish it up.
Good.
But yeah, so far so good, man. So that's exciting stuff. Let me shout out some people that we got in the chat here. We got a lively group here. I didn't think anybody would be wanting to get on here with me this early in the day. So that's fantastic. It's just must be you. They're like, oh man, the Sam guy looks handsome in this picture. I gotta hop on.
No.
With his accent.
They're here for you and beard. That's what they're here.
We got Cinnapom from Library on Legs, the audiobook queen, which don't let me forget. I'll have to ask you about audio books because she always wants me to ask. And then we got Tim McKay, Bearded Book Beast channel member and awesome indie author. What's up, Tim? Yeah, see, that's what I just knew it. I knew in my head. I'm like, oh, my spidey sense is tingling. Tim is working hard. I'm going to distract him. But thanks for being here. Mark from the Book Lounge is here. What's up, Mark? Thanks for being here, my friend. Also a Bearded Book Beast channel member. Kay from Kay Has Hidden Shelf. What's up, Kay? Thanks for being here. It's awesome to see you in here.
Yeah.
We got some awesome people. And Keys, what's up, Keys? How's it going? We're glad you joined us while you're working, my friend. Hope you have a great Tuesday as well. So yeah, we got a lot of awesome people in here. And if you're in the live stream and you don't like to comment, that is fine. We appreciate you too. Have fun hanging out with us. And if you want to fire off a question for Sam or for me, feel free to type it in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, we appreciate you as well. And just so everyone knows, in the description, I've got Sam's books linked so you can snag them and check them out. I have the novella linked in there as well. So make sure you check all his stuff out. All right. So book 2 is out. You are officially a series writer now. So how does that feel to have 2 books and a novella out there in the wild? Because last time we talked, you just had the 1 book. Well, no, do you have another? Did you have something?
Yeah, I have a collection of short stories that.
As I say, you have a. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you got all sorts of things out there now.
Yeah, that was my practice. So I wrote a couple of short stories and then published it all through Amazon just to see what the whole process was like. But yeah, I don't really market them at all. It's mainly the Tale of the Formryr series.
But is there one story in there from the Formryr series, or I remember there is, right?
Yeah, so the Lazarat Moon, which is the one that you've read.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So good. I already read it then.
So that's what I wrote before I wrote Eluthienn. So just as a sort of getting into the world and building the world.
Yeah.
I made the character Torken Varanquis, who you meet briefly in the first book. I do actually want to do an entire series with Torken Varanquis, but I think that's way down the line. So
that's an interesting character. I would enjoy that.
At least I've got one reader. So I've got the short story or the novella, and then book one and book 2 in the Tale of the Formryr.
Nice. All right. Well, it's awesome, man. You're rolling. You got to keep it up. It's going good.
Book 3 is in the works. I was working on it this morning. I'm on chapter 3 currently, so I'm hoping that maybe June next year I'll be able to get it out there.
Nice. Okay, so not too far away.
No, although with Isdria, I gave myself the deadline of March 2025, and I didn't meet that deadline. So we'll see.
Hey, there's no rush, man. Get the book out that you want it to be, and we'll be there to read it. So no worries about that. All right. So this book you have So first book you had multi POV, and in this book you also do. So let me think. Okay, first let's start with this. Why don't you tell us in general, for anybody that hasn't read any of your books and didn't watch our first interview, let us know what your books are about.
Okay, so A Tale of the Formryr, which is the series, is epic fantasy combined with a healthy dose of gothic science fiction. They are quite different to what most epic fantasy readers would have read before, I think. Starting with the fact that they are epistolary chronicles. So they are told in letters. They're told by someone to someone who repeats it to someone else. So that is complicated. It sounds complicated. It is a bit complicated, but that is the framing. And then the story itself is 2 alternating points of view. So for anyone who's read books like The Expanse, they'll be familiar with that style of writing or structure. I think maybe like Game of Thrones, where you've got alternating alternating chapters for different characters. So that's how it's structured. It's set in a vast underground world, populated by an alliance of elves, humans, dwarves, and gnomes. So this is a civilization which has been built on top of a mysterious alien civilization that died out hundreds of thousands of years ago. And this alliance of traditional fantasy races are using the ancient lost technology, which they consider relics now of this former race. And they know how to use them, they know how to repair them, but they don't know how to replicate them. So that's part of the underlying lore. What else can I say? So that's the setting and the structure. The main characters in book 1, Lyander and Brazier. Lyander is a disgraced exorcist. He's a sort of a Geralt of Rivia type character, and then Brazier is a ship captain who, without giving too much away, has to take charge in a difficult situation. So yeah, that's the series and the characters.
Oh, so good, man. And book one is just awesome, guys. It's unlike anything you've read, but it feels familiar at the same time somehow. And it's just the characters are great, and it's just really, really good. I highly recommend you check it out. And now I'm into book two, and we have a new character that we get to hang out with in book two. I don't know if you can say anything about them. Does it spoil anything? You say anything about the new character? I don't want to say anything and spoil anything for anybody that hasn't read book one.
No, I don't think it'll spoil anything. Well, yeah, okay. So if you haven't read book one, yeah, maybe because the ending of book one, yeah.
Well, we'll just say that you get another character that you get to follow in book two that I'm really enjoying so far, which I think is pretty cool. And I love that structure with the letters or the messages, how like a section will start with that. And I love how that is set up. I think it's really cool and well done. So just, you have a lot of little things that are inventive and different. And I love seeing that in books that I read. So well done, my friend. All right. So let's take a look at book two's cover and book one. So this was book one, which I love, and that's Leander there, right?
Well, so the idea with that is you're not, so like the person telling the story in Eluthienn, you're not quite sure who it is, so you're not supposed to know quite sure who that is. Yeah. So that's part of the mystery in book one.
I love it. Well, and again, like this is, you can tell there's this awesome looking spaceship here, but it's underground, which is, I think it's just so cool that it's like Star Wars but underground in a cave. It's just so cool.
Yeah, so in my world, those are called Jaya ships, and they are sort of spaceship, but they're actually, the influence came from the Matrix, so the Matrix real world, where they have I think they're the hovercraft. So I tried to create a fantasy version of those. Essentially, that's the only other influence. That's the only influence from the Matrix. So there's nothing else but that.
Oh man, well it was well done. It's pretty cool. And then here is the cover for book two, which just looks so epic. I love it. Now it's the same cover artist for both books. Tell us a little bit about the process of finding your cover artist and then working with them. Did you kind of have the exact idea and they just knocked it out of the park? Was there some back and forth and or you just had a general idea and they kind of threw some things at you? How did the process go for you with the covers?
Yeah, so Charles Ooting is the cover artist and he has done an incredible job. They are amazing covers and it's what everyone talks about. So I've done a Comic-Con and several book fairs now, and everyone just sort of gravitates towards the cover before they know anything about the series. The process, I had in my mind clear images or scenes from the book that I wanted from the books that I wanted to be the covers. And then Charles asked me a ton of questions. He's very comprehensive. He wanted to know things about the overall mood and atmosphere of the book, the tone, who the characters are. He got loads from me in order to build that, draw that. And how did I find him? I found him on Reedsy, and then we made a relationship after that for book two.
Pretty awesome. Well, I love him, and you. I have another book that has a nice message from you and a sign from you of another copy of Eluthienn that's kind of the bigger paperback size. But then you went to the smaller, which I actually love, this kind of in between mass market and bigger trade. I love this little size. It's a sweet spot for me. But what made you decide to go to the smaller paperback?
because I don't know why I picked the bigger size actually. So I picked the bigger size, and then I realised that actually most paperback covers are the smaller size.
Yeah.
And I thought I should probably do that.
Well, I mean, I still love the bigger paperbacks too, but I do love like that size. I think it's perfect for your books too, because a lot of times like a 6x9 paperback, it makes the book look shorter than it really is, where this has like a hefty little chunky feel to it, but it's still a quick fast read, you know. So I think that's a good spot too, is it makes it look like full, like the story is, instead of sometimes you get that big one and it makes it look smaller than it actually is.
Yeah, I think the smaller size, so the 5x8, is probably better because, as you say, the stories themselves are shorter than most epic fantasy.
Right.
And so the larger one does look a bit thin, looks a bit skinny, I think. For epic fantasy, at least.
Oh, yeah. And something else I love about your covers that I don't know if we talked about last time is I love the typography too, like the font and everything for the titles. Was that something that you came up with, or did you have somebody different do it, or would the cover artist come up with that too?
That's all Charles. That he came up with all. Yeah. He is really talented actually, and I had to book him out like 4 or 5 months in advance, and then even then he was struggling to meet that deadline.
Wow.
So yeah, I think he's very busy.
Yeah, you got a good one.
Yeah, he's very talented. I mean, it was just by luck that I picked him. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing this for the first time, you got no idea really, what you're doing.
Right.
I just got lucky, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like when you first found him and got him, was he as busy then, or did you kind of get him at like a perfect time before he really has started to take off?
Yeah, I think I got him at a perfect time.
Oh man, people didn't know about him yet, but man, I mean his covers, it's beautiful, dude. So you found a good cover artist for sure.
Yeah, I would highly recommend him. He takes a lot of care. He gets interested in the story. So yeah, good guy.
Oh man, all right. There you heard it, people. If you need a cover artist, go with Charles. It's the one to do especially if you want a cover that looks that good. It's awesome. All right. So you mentioned that you're working on book 3 now. Remind me how many books that you think it'll take to tell this story, and then where you're going next. Are you staying in this world and telling different stories, or do you have something completely different in your brain that you want to go for after this story is told?
So yeah, I do have a lot of stories that I'd like to write, a lot of different series that I'd like to write, and I did think about this as just a trilogy, a 3-part series. But having now plotted book 3, I think it's going to be much longer. Unfortunately for me, the whole story won't be done in 3 books. I'm envisaging at least 5, probably. But I'm hoping that the first 3 will be sort of a complete cycle, because I know that fantasy readers like to get stuck into a completed series. So I'm going to try and do that. And then I'll continue with books 4 and 5, and maybe 6.
Hey, that's all right, man. More writing from you is always exciting for me. I sounds good to me. I love this world that you created, so I'll hang out in it as long as you keep putting stuff out for me to do so.
As a reader, are you one of the fantasy readers that only gets stuck or prefers to get stuck into a completed series, or are you not bothered?
No, I've never been bothered by that. Like if a book 1 comes out and I think it sounds sweet, I'm going to read it, you know? But I know there are a lot of people that are like, when it's done, I'll read it. So I guess if you, I know it's hard. It's hard. I feel like the sweet spot for those people is if you can write it within the same world, but have like segmented stories almost, where it's like, well, I'm still writing books in this world, but this story is complete. This is a complete story. But even then, people are like, but you're still coming out with more. I'm going to wait till it's all done. No matter what you do, you're going to get some of those people, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of fantasy readers have been burned by authors not completing.
They don't want to get invested. Yeah. But it's like, man, like if I thought that way all the time, like I never would have read any of the Game of Thrones books or Song of Ice and Fire books, and they're so good, you know, even though it's not done. Like, I'm so glad I read them. I haven't read Name of the Wind, so I can't say anything about that. I still haven't read that one, but
that's an incredible series. Yeah,
I've heard
books 1 and 2, phenomenal.
Yeah,
I think it's read it. 10 years, 13 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. It's crazy. It's wild. And I mean, it just becomes a thing, right, for them. I feel like, oh yeah. I feel like once it gets to be a few years and everybody's talking about it and they feel that pressure, it's just like, I don't know. It gets to be just too crazy. But who knows? Maybe someday we'll see those final books. Maybe not, but who knows? That's over our head, right? Let's see. So, some people here love the cover. They said it's very cool. Quick shout out to Mark from the Book Lounge. He has a loved one in the hospital. They're getting out today, which is awesome. So we're praying for you and your family, Mark, and hopefully everything goes good and they get to come home. And thank you, Kay. I'm glad it was a lovely surprise. It's a lovely surprise to see you in my live chat, so I'm glad that you could hop on for an early one. All right, so I don't forget, since Senna just asked about the cover, how is it going with audiobooks for your books?
So audiobook for Eluthienn is done and it's out there. It's on Audible. And I will probably have Isdria started in January. I think that's probably so maybe it usually takes about a month or so for the narrator to do it, depending on his availability, of course. So early next year, I think.
Nice. Very good. How's that process gone for you? I know audiobooks can be a wild experience trying to get them figured out, and they can be so expensive, and there's all these different options you can do for rights and all that stuff. Like, how's that gone for you?
So yes, it's an expensive journey. Audiobook done. However, I think it's worth it. I really do think it's worth it. So the narrator that I got was, I think you've read. He's the narrator for duology that I think you've read, also by an indie author, and I can't, because I've read them as well.
Oh shoot! What's it about?
So it's ecological fantasy, I think, and the world is kind of dying through certain processes that are being set in motion. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, is it a oh man, where's the book at? Is it? Hold on. This one?
That's the one, Riven Earth. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. By Zamar.
Yeah, so I read that, and I don't know, I just came across the guy who'd done the audiobook for it, and I really liked his the tone of his voice, his cadence, that sort of thing. And he's got a broad range of voices that he can do, which is perfect for my world, because there's a lot of regions, a lot of different characters.
Yeah.
Again, straight out the gate, just got really lucky with the narrator. And so what was the question? What was the process like?
Just how did it go? It's always interesting to me because everybody has such a different experience with everything, you know, as indie authors. It's because you're figuring it all out as you go, you know.
So the whole process, aside from the expense itself, the whole process was great. So we went through Amazon Audible. So that sort of, how do I describe it? that platform controls the relationship between you and the narrator. They will do some samples for you, upload them. They'll do some sample chapters and upload them, and you can sign them off. But before we did that, I did a whole document for the different regions in my world and the different characters and what tone of voice and who they're most similar to. And I think that must have been nearly 4,000 words. And he took that, read it all, and just did an incredible job. Books of narrating the books.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so it went very smoothly. Published it. I've not done any marketing for it at all, and I've had hundreds of listens to it.
Nice. So, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think the royalties are not great, which I think most authors are aware of. However, there's a huge market for audiobooks, so yeah, you should do it if you're an author.
Oh yeah, well, and that's just more readers that your book's getting into. They might share word of mouth or make a review or whatever. So it's always worth it, right? Because there are a lot of people that just do audio. That's all they do. They don't do any other kind of books. So I think it's good that you don't miss out on that that avenue, and the royalties will come. They got to figure that out. I feel like for as expensive as they make it to get an audiobook out there, like they need to make it just a better return on your investment. I feel like there's just things that block it from being as good of a revenue as it should be.
Yeah, but I think well, you have unfortunately little choice as an author. I mean, Audible just dominates them.
I know, yeah. There's not really. You have to do it if you want to make one. It's the way you got to do it, and they know that. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I was gonna say I know Cinna listened to the audiobook of Riven Earth, so there you go, Cinna. Then you already know you'll like the narrator.
Adriel Brandt, I think is his name.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Well, I think that's important too that you mentioned that he does good with like different voices, because like you said, there's lots of different races and everything in your book, but even just having dual point of view, if you have more than one point of view, POV. I can't talk. This is what happens when I try to do these in the morning. When you have more than one POV, that's cool that he can make each one sound and feel like a different person, because you get some narrators that they're just reading it and it's fine, but it doesn't come alive and the characters don't jump off out of the headphones.
Well, he did different voices for all the side characters.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. That's what you want in a narrator. Like it makes it come alive.
Yeah, I got my money's worth.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
That's true. Tim makes a good point here. He said people listen faster than they read with their eyes, so you get quicker feedback and quicker reviews on audiobooks, which that's a good point I didn't think about too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And Keys, you're right. So many books, so little time to read. If we could just all press pause and just read all the books we want to read and then press play on life again, that would be lovely. Timothy Wolf, another awesome indie author and Bearded Book Beast channel member. What's up, man? 9 a.m. Hey, I know, but I'm glad you're here, my friend. We appreciate you being here. I like to mix it up, have all sorts of different times. Well, and by you, Sam, it's what, 3 something right now?
Yeah, it's what time is it? 3 p.m. I think. Yeah,
because I think I'm 6 hours.
So it's 3 p.m.
Nice. All right, cool. All right, so we'll switch gears here in a minute, and I want to talk a little bit about your journey. We'll touch on your journey a little bit in case this is the first time someone's seen this and they didn't watch our first interview. But then I want to talk about kind of your experience from book 1 to book 2. But before we do that, Sam, I've got a couple dad jokes for you, my friend. So let's see. Which one do I want to go with? Where is it at? Right here. Okay. I always have it right on the joke that I want to tell on this website, and then when I go out and go back in, it refreshes it to the very top, and then I have to scroll all the way down and find it again. Tell ya. Okay. All right, here's the first one. All right. What did the veterinarian say to the cat?
I've got no idea.
How are you feline today?
That's like the epitome of a dad joke.
Oh man. Okay, here's another one. So I moved to North Carolina, and there's a lot more mountains down here. Michigan, we didn't have any mountains, and something I've realized about mountains are they're not just funny, they're hilarious. Oh, that was really bad. That one hurt me. That one hurt me. Okay. One more. So I'm the bearded book beast, so I have a beard, of course, right? And funny thing is, when I first was able to grow facial hair, I didn't really like it, but eventually it grew on me. But all right, that's enough of those.
Well done. That made me laugh.
All right. So yeah, walk us through. Just tell us a little bit about how you got into writing and how you became a published author. Like, was it something you always wanted to do? Was it something you got into later on into your adult life? Give us a little rundown of your journey to becoming an author, and then after that, I got some questions about how it was different from book 1 to book 2 now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I always wanted to be an author. And I specialized in, so I did English literature, and then I specialized as a career in writing in whatever way I could. So that began with marketing and PR, and then I was able to specialize in content writing. So I was just writing day in, day out. And the reason why I did that is because shortly after university, I tried to write a book, and was not very successful in writing that book. I spent about 3 months, and I think I wrote all of 10,000 words.
Oh,
and I think I might have mentioned this last time, but at the time, I was good enough to know that I wasn't very good, and I had a decision or a choice that I could either live with my parents for the next 3 years, trying to figure out this writing thing, or I could have a career in writing and practice writing while having an income and being able to move out with my parents. I opted for the latter, and then spent, I think, 7 years doing that before it was the pandemic, and during the pandemic I had a lot of time to write. So throughout those years that I was working, I was still writing on and off, but with a full-time job in London, I just didn't have time to do it. And then the pandemic happened, lockdowns, and then I was able to spend a lot more time writing. I got a lot better. I stuck with it, and then eventually I was like, as my company was going back into the office, I was like, I don't want to do this. So I quit, and I went freelance, which gave me a lot more time to spend on my writing. And so, yeah, it took me several years to write book 1, on and off. But once I had the time to do it, I sailed through it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. It's awesome that you kept like betting on yourself and kept sticking to the dream of writing that book. I feel like that's inspiring to people like me and anybody else who's chasing that same dream. Like, don't give up. Just keep it at the forefront, and it'll happen eventually if you just keep at it. So I think that's awesome, man. That deserves another round of applause. There we go. Nicely done, my friend. All right. I forgot I added a laugh track on here for my dad jokes. It almost sounds like a boo at first. All right. So how do you feel like what was different with book 2? Obviously, you wrote it quicker than book 1. But do you feel like anything changed how you approached it. Like, do you feel like you outlined or plotted differently? Do you feel like you did more from the seat of your pants since you knew the world and the characters? What kind of differences did you notice from book 1 to book 2?
So book 1, I tried coming to the blank page and just writing, and that does not work for me. I need to plot the whole thing out.
Yeah.
And so that was a bit of a sticking point at first for book 1, and so obviously in book 2 I didn't have any of that. I just plotted the whole thing, and I knew what I was doing. Other than that, I don't think there was too many differences. I think now I'm much more confident in the writing itself. So in book 1, when you've never written a full novel before, you'll be writing and you write out a scene and be thinking, does this need to be included? Could I write it differently? And often I would go back and just write it differently, unsure as to whether the reader would like it that way or another way. Should I spend a long time describing where these characters are going, or should I just get straight to the point? There's a lot of things where you're just unsure of in your first novel, which you just spend a lot of time on, and then when it comes to book 2, I just don't have any of that at all anymore. You're just a lot more confident in your writing.
That's good.
I also took a lot of feedback from book 1. So book 1 has got really good reviews, almost consistently. 0 DNFs, at least from what I can see from Amazon and Goodreads. So the main feedback was a lot of the chapters were quite long. So I cut down the chapters in book 2.
Okay. I did notice that a little bit so far, and I didn't know if that was like a consistent thing or if it was just kind of how it started out, but I did notice shorter. But the good thing about even when the chapters were longer, like your style of writing, I feel like the chapters went by quick even when they were longer. But they're even quicker now that they're shorter.
Yeah, they are. I do have quite pacey writing, and that is deliberate. So actually, that's another thing. When I was first writing book 1, you're kind of figuring out your style. And the problem I had is because my career was content writing and also ghost writing, I would write on behalf of other people. And so I would try and capture their tone in whatever writing I was doing. So when it came to writing my own stuff, I wasn't entirely sure what my own tone of voice was. And so my favorite book series, or one of my favorite book series is The Expanse. And so I kind of copied their tone and language, their style of writing. But then once I was writing the books, you kind of build your own style. So yeah, in book 2, I'm not thinking about what's my style, how should I write this. It just comes out of you.
Now you just know. Yeah, it just is. It is your style. Yeah, I like that. That's good. That saves you a lot of mental space to just focus on the story and the characters and all that, instead of like, oh, how should I write it? Now you can just write and figure out the story. So that's good. Now I know that you outline and plotted things out a little bit more this time. Have you had in book 1 and book 2? Did you have any times where things that you thought were going to happen, once you got to know the characters and wrote them, you're like, oh, they wouldn't do that now, I'm going to do something different? Or was there like a character that maybe was supposed to get the axe and you decided they needed to be around longer, or vice versa? Or any characters that you created along the way, side characters, because you're like, ooh, I need another character in this situation or whatever. Have you had anything like that happen in the first 2 books?
So where I think a character is a certain type of character and then they evolve into something else through the writing, that's kind of happened with all of them. You have well, I do anyway. I have this sort of vague outline as to who the
Mhm.
character is at the start, and they become the character throughout. So yeah, they do make different decisions, and in some cases that does mean altering the outline. So I think this is probably the same for a lot of fantasy writers. I know Brandon Sanderson does this. It works in this exact way where he'll
Mhm.
plot the entire book, but his characters are he's a gardener with his characters.
Mhm.
He doesn't plot out. Uh, he doesn't outline his characters, and I'm the same way. And I think a lot of fantasy authors are. They'll outline, and then their characters will grow throughout the book. But no, there hasn't been any major changes. There's been a few different decisions, but yeah, I've
Yeah.
not had to get rid of someone that I didn't want in there, or invent someone new to come in and do something.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So writing wise, when you're writing, um, do you like to, like right now you started on book 3, and with book 2 you had a plan, like you said, for it to come out in the summer, but then it ended up coming out now, or like late spring, early summer. So do you set daily, weekly, monthly goals for your writing, or are you just like, I'm just going to try to write every day, it'll get done when it gets done?
Yeah, the latter, really. I mean, I think it would be better if you set weekly goals. That would be much better, but it requires a lot more discipline, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
just a lot more commitment. But no, my general, uh, yeah, the way I approach it is I just try and write every day for a couple of hours. Because I mean, I still have a day job. I still freelance.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm fairly busy with that, and I've got bills to pay and stuff. So that kind of takes
You gotta,
priority.
yeah, you gotta have that be the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I try. I wake up and I just write for several hours,
Mhm.
and then if I can, I might write for a few hours in the evening.
No, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Okay. And when you are writing, do you have like a certain place you enjoy to write, like just in your office? Do you go places like coffee shops or outside? Um, do you just write wherever you are when you have time to write?
Yeah. So I try and be in my office or
Okay.
somewhere quiet. I could not write in a coffee shop or yeah.
Too many distractions.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it. I require absolute silence to
Hmm.
uh, to write. Yeah, I need minimal distractions.
Okay. So no
Yeah,
music while you write then?
no, absolutely. I can't. I don't understand people who do that. Actually, yeah, because I don't know how you can hear the character's tone of voice, and also your own tone of voice when you're describing the world and
Right.
things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know how people can do it. Maybe it's just to shut out the noise of wherever they
Right.
are.
Right.
But yeah, no,
That's true.
yeah,
Okay.
I need silence.
Interesting. Um, Now, I find it interesting that your main job is also writing and stuff. So I'm wondering, do you is there what are there any differences when you're writing your books versus you're doing your work for your job? Like, do you write in the same place? Like, do you have the same preferences? Like, you want complete silence, you just kind of write in your office. Does like the atmosphere and the setup pretty much the same between work versus the book?
Yeah, it is. It would help if I could do it in different rooms or something, but yeah, I don't have that luxury.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
more
just
just
have to.
flipping the switch. You go from uh, work writer to book writer.
Yeah, and that is quite difficult actually,
Yeah, I
uh,
bet.
and it was really difficult when I was in full time employment as doing PR and content writing. Spending an entire day writing for work and then commuting back
Yeah,
and then writing in the evening
right.
was yeah, it was so hard to the point that it just didn't happen. Whereas now, because I can structure my own hours, I can do as much or as little work as as much or as little freelance work as I want. It's just made it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Very cool. Well, and it's nice when you're working from home, because I'm sure a lot of times by the time you drove home, got settled in, and all that stuff, then it's like back to writing again. Even though in your mind you want to do it because you're excited about the story, but it's just the practice of it. It's like going back to work. Whereas if you have a job maybe where you're doing something completely different, then it's more exciting. Like, ooh, I'm gonna get to work writing. But when you've been writing all day, I'm sure it's hard to like push through that and get into it.
All right, so now I'm I've just built that muscle now. I can just do it. But at first, yeah, it was really difficult.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing it, man, because you're rocking it out. So you just got to keep it up.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll switch gears again in a minute. But first, I do a question of the day every day on my channel. I like to ask my guests the same question. So my question today, I'll have to tweak it a little for you because it was about Halloween. But you guys don't. Do you celebrate Halloween over there? You do? Okay. Some people tell me they don't. Some people do. Okay. So my question was if you decorate for Halloween or if you just decorate for like fall or if you don't decorate until Christmas time.
Yeah, no. So some people do decorate for Halloween, and you'll have the kids going around asking for sweets and stuff. I don't partake in any of that though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just decorate for Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, just Christmas. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. That's my big one. We do like kind of fall-ish. We did this year because my kids always want us to do something, but my wife's very practical. Like she hates all like this over the top Halloween stuff. Like it's probably good because if she didn't care, I'd probably be that house that like is just ridiculous with the big blow up things in the yard and just basically a haunted house. Because I just love that stuff. But I do go crazy at Christmas time. But we just kind of decorate for fall and have a couple things here and there. But in North Carolina, what's crazy is I would see some things in Michigan with big decorations, but down here they have these big, like huge like statue things in everybody's yard. Like not even just like the big blow up, but like they're like as tall as the house, and it's like a skeleton or a vampire. And I'm like, what the heck? They're everywhere. There's actually across from the elementary school my daughter goes to, there's 3 houses in a row that have huge skeleton that's as tall as the roof of the house. I'm like, what? That's terrifying.
That sounds very American. So it's just a really American thing to do. So other than Halloween, what's the difference between Michigan and North Carolina in your experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, weather for sure. Like right now in Michigan, it would already be getting really cold. Where here it's kind of starting to feel like fall. There's some color change with the trees going on, but in Michigan, it would already all be orange and red, and then it'd be really cold at night and in the morning. Where here, it's like it's still pretty hot during the day and sunny, but it might get down to like upper 50s or lower 60s at night now. But in Michigan, it's probably getting down in the 40s or lower at night. And I won't have to worry about snow as much here. So that's a big difference. And the cloud coverage, like where I lived in Michigan, it was actually like in the top 10 most cloudiest places in the country. Where here it's unfiltered sunshine. There's not as much clouds. The sky's much clearer. So that makes a big difference too. You feel the heat of the sun a lot more. So that's one thing, but just it's not as flat. Like where I was in Michigan, it was more flat. There are parts of Michigan up north that are a lot more mountainous or hilly, but it's definitely, I'm surrounded by mountains here. So it's pretty cool to go hiking. And I mean, like a few minutes up the road, I can drive and I can go bike on some mountainous trails or walk on them. So we do that a lot. Where in Michigan, you had to go kind of far for that stuff. So yeah, just those kinds of things I noticed. And it's a lot slower paced style of life down here too. Still quick because that's just how the world is now. Everybody's in a hurry, but it is a little bit slower down here. And Southern accent is the one that I think is the biggest change. I'm the only one that doesn't sound like everyone else down here. and they say different things like I've had to get used to saying soda instead of pop because I always say pop and people look at me like what, or like everybody says y'all, and they so this pop that is, see, I just did it, the soda that is only in North Carolina, it's like my favorite one. It's called cheer wine, but if there's a word like cheer, they don't say cheer, they say chur. So down here they'll say like, oh, you like chur wine. I'm like, cheer wine, cheer wine, yeah, cheer wine. Or like cherry is churry, like there's a Cherryville, so they say Churville. So it's getting used to that. Or they call shopping carts buggies. Like I'm getting used to that. So just a lot of little things like that. But it's awesome. I love it down here. Yeah, it's been a really good move for me so far. But I'm sure it's the same if I came over there. There's accent and things that you guys say different and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, you move 5 minutes away and you've got a different accent in the UK. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's what I've heard.
Yeah. So is it cowboy country in North Carolina?
Not really. I mean, there are some. I do see a lot more cowboy hats and cowboy boots than I did anywhere else in Michigan. So that's for sure. But I'd say it's not quite like going to Texas or something like that, you know. But there is a lot. I do see a lot of cowboy hats and cowboy boots, which is something I really never saw in Michigan unless I was going to like a bar where they were doing line dancing or or something like that, you know. But yeah, so I do see that more down here for sure.
Yeah, so I watched Yellowstone, and I've now decided that I want a ranch in Montana.
Oh, heck yeah, dude! I know. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. That would be pretty awesome. I agree. And Curran is here. What's up, man? Also from the state of North Carolina. So he says yes. NC is not a cowboy state, but like I said, I have seen a lot more cowboy hats down here. I'm gonna have to get one for myself.
I didn't realize how. So it is still a thing, and I didn't realize that until watching Yellowstone. It is.
I know, right? You don't think about it unless you're somewhere where they do that. Like, yeah, I know it's wild. But yeah, that's the place to be. You're gonna have to start it up, man. Next time I see you, I want to see that cowboy hat.
Yeah, I'll try and move to Montana.
Oh man, you gotta in your next book now. You need to have a rancher down below somehow. I don't know what they would have on their ranch in a cave system.
Yeah, the problem with it all being caves and tunnels is they're not growing.
Nothing's growing down there. Yeah. They could have some kind of creepy cave cattle or something.
Well, so part of the world is moss and lichen farming.
Oops, see? There you go.
They're not ranchers though.
No, that's true. Well, very awesome. All right, good answers, good chat. All right, so let's switch gears to. I have a few questions for us to get to know you outside of writing, and some of these maybe repeat from last time, but I'm going to ask them again anyway. So let's start with, what is your favorite color?
Blue, I think. I mean, I don't really have a real favorite.
You saying that you don't really have a favorite color. That's
I'm
right.
really to it, but yeah, I'll go with blue.
All right, we'll go with blue. Like now the blue, like in your covers, like that lighter blue, like the one around our names.
Right.
Like
yeah. That's
blue.
Yeah. I do like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about food? What's your favorite food?
Oh, steak and chips.
Yeah. That's always a good choice. Now, do you prefer it at a restaurant or grilling it yourself at home?
I don't mind either, because it's not too hard to go to cook steak. Well, you can cook steak wrong. It's not too difficult to cook it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind either way.
Nice. It's got to be done well though, right? Because sometimes not well done, but like done good. Because sometimes you go and you pay for a steak and then it's like dry or they don't season it a lot and you're like, ugh. Whereas at least when you're at home, like I soak that thing and season it up, and then it's. How do you like your steak? Do you like it a little pink on the inside still? Do you do like
Yeah, I like
medium?
I like it
Me
right.
too. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Nothing's worse than if somebody does it too well done and it's all dry. No
No,
way.
you ruin steak that way, I think.
Yes, I agree. All right. I have learned if I go to a restaurant that's like, I don't know the right way to say this, but known for having a more elderly clientele. Like there's a couple restaurants in Michigan and here that are known for that. So the steak there is super bland because they don't want a lot of spice. It's not good for their
Mm.
stomach and stuff. I got a steak at a place like that once, and I was like, oh, never doing that again. It was like not seasoned, well done, like super dry. Ugh. So I learned my lesson. If you're gonna get a steak out somewhere, it needs to be at a steak house, not a place that's not known for steak. You might as well just get a burger or something if you go somewhere like that. But all right, next question. What is a talent or hobby you have that people might not know about?
Mm.
Remember, talent or hobby. People always try to just think of talent, but it could be something you like to collect or do for fun too. It doesn't have to be a talent.
Okay, so I quite enjoy board games. I wouldn't
Okay.
say it's a hobby that I spend a lot of time on because I'm kind of
Yeah.
busy writing books.
Right.
Yeah, so my friends and I do play a lot of board games.
That's
Yeah,
cool. What's your one of your favorite board games to play?
I don't know how well you know board games.
I mean, I know in general, but probably not a deep dive. You're probably going to say something I don't know about.
So have you come across Scythe before or
Oh,
Tapestry?
sounds
Um,
cool. What is
they
it about?
so they are made by I think it's Stonemaier Games,
Okay.
and I think I'm right in saying this, and I'm going to double check. But they also made a board game for Red Rising.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Um, so someone in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong if they know. Yeah, yeah, they did. So pretty sure it's Stonemaier who makes it. But they're fairly intricate games. You can spend like 4 or 5 hours per game sitting around the table.
Dang,
Um,
okay.
yeah, Scythe is set in a sort of quasi post World War One setting,
Okay.
with a lot of industrial manufacturing and what else? So you take on these sort of European powers, and you have to claim territory and things like that, and fight each
That
other
sounds
or not.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Tapestry, I've only played a handful of times, but you're building a civilization whilst going around a board. It's a
Oh,
lot more complex than Monopoly or
yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
it sounds like it. Pretty cool. Now, do you find that you're pretty good at these board games, or do you just enjoy them?
No, I just enjoy them. Yeah.
That's fair. That's all that matters is you're having fun. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're good or not.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have like one group of friends that you like to play with, or do you play with different groups of people?
No, just the one group of friends who, yeah, we just meet up for Saturday or whatever. Okay,
Nice.
so every year we do go away actually. So we have a couple of
Oh,
days
no way.
away. Yeah, we'll just get an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
and just like sit around playing board games for the whole
Ah, dude,
weekend.
that's awesome, man. Because I mean, that's like, I mean, it's fun and also gives you a chance to like actually talk and catch up and all that stuff too while you're playing. Whereas like if you were just sitting around watching a movie or something, like you're not talking as much. So that's what a fun thing that you do with your friends. I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a good hobby to have with a group of friends. Um,
Yes.
yeah, because especially for guys, you can often end up being like, is it a friendship group or is it just a drinking group?
Yeah,
That,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Whereas, yeah, with these guys, we do drink. But we,
Well, you got to do that a little too.
we do spend a lot of time as well just sitting around playing board games, and then invariably just sitting around hanging out chatting. It's not just going to the pub and getting hammered,
getting sloshed.
Yeah,
That's awesome though, man. Shoot, I just thought of something I was gonna. Oh, you know what you need to do now? Eventually, you need to have this group of friends help you make a board game of your books of that world. That would be sweet.
you know what I did? I have imagined, or I have pictured a board game for.
Yeah.
I think the world lends itself to a board game or a game.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I think it'd be awesome.
It'd be great, but right now, just writing the books is time consuming.
Get all the books out first, and then think about it. I think your books would be a sweet setting for a video game too.
And I don't know. I'm wondering with these sort of AI apps, because you can sort of prompt a game now, you can create them quite. Yeah. I don't know. Once I've got more time, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, heck yeah. Curran's gonna go head off to write. Thanks for popping in, man. Good luck with your writing. Hope it goes good. We'll see you, buddy. All right. Now, next question. Because you're so busy with work and writing and everything else, do you ever find time for video games or watching TV, movies, that kind of stuff? Or do you feel like every time you have free time, you're like, I just got to write. I got to get going.
So yeah, I mean, you only have so many hours in the day. I used to play video games, but that stopped like 5 or 6 years ago.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of stopped when I got a full-time job, really.
Yeah.
And I then found out, it's either you can spend your evening video games, writing, or reading. You've only got so much time. So yeah, I spend most of my time writing, and then during the day working, and then in the evening I do try and read as much as I can.
Nice.
And if I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, then we'll watch something.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's all the hours in the day done.
Yeah, that pretty much sucks it all up. So what kind of movies do you guys like to watch? Do you like agree on something, or do you usually watch like more like what she wants to watch, since you're like, I don't watch that much anyway?
Yeah, I kind of just defer to whatever she wants to watch, as long as it's not Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's fair. What was the last movie you watched?
So the last movie I watched, and this is something I watched on my own, was Weapons.
I want to go see that. Me and my son want to go see that.
Yeah, it's
pretty terrifying.
How old is your son?
He's 16.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
I know he watched on his own. He watched the other movie that director made. What was it called? Is it called Baby? No, I can't remember what it's called. It's but it was pretty. It had Bill Skarsgård in it, and it was a crazy movie. It because then I watched it after he told me about it, where like this girl gets an Airbnb, and there's this weird guy also there that she didn't know was going to also be at the house. And it just makes you think like that he's going to be like the bad guy. And it's this whole thriller thing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it becomes this terrifying horror thing with a monster. Like, it's wild. But it was by the guy that made that Weapons. So.
Okay, I'll have to check. I'll have to check out some of the films. But yeah, Weapons is really good. Highly recommend it.
Okay. Yeah. I also want to go see, have you seen the trailers for The Good Boy with the dog? It's like from the dog's point of view, and his owner is like getting slowly possessed in this house. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty wild. Like, it just shows the dog, and then it shows the guy slowly deteriorating, getting possessed by this evil entity in this house, and how the dog's trying to protect him. It looks pretty sweet.
I will watch that for sure, just based on the concept alone.
I know. So I want to see that. Although I'm like, oh man, I used to, as a kid, like if I watched a horror movie, and there was a dog in it, like all these people could be getting slaughtered, and I'm fine. But then if something happens to the dog, I'm like, what? The dog got killed. So I don't know if I can handle that movie, but I do want to watch it because it looks really good.
So are you a horror fan, or do you?
Well, this time of year definitely. Like I do like horror. You know, fantasy and sci-fi are more my jam. That's why I love urban fantasy, because I feel like it mixes them both. Um, but horror, I do like horror movies. My wife hates them; she will not watch them. So I actually am out of the game because my kids were too young really to watch them for a while. But now that they're getting older and they're getting into them, I feel like I'm getting that itch to watch some horror and stuff again.
Yeah, I think. What? Yeah, so movies in general haven't been doing too well. There's been a lot
Yeah.
of blockbuster flops, but horror.
Mhm.
A lot of the directors seem to have
Yeah,
innovated
that's
quite well. Some really interesting concepts and storylines.
oh yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. There's been a lot of good horror like series on streaming channel or services and stuff too that I'm behind on that I want to watch. Like I really loved gosh, I think the last one I watched by him, gosh, what's the guy's name that is gonna do dang it. He's gonna do the Dark Tower now, but he did all those things for Netflix. I can't think of his name. But it was like haunted on or haunting on Hill House. Oh, wait.
On Hill House. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Haunting on Hill House. Yeah.
yeah. That was really good. And then the one Midnight Mass, that was really good.
Okay, I've
Those,
not seen Midnight Mass.
oh yeah, that one was really good. That was a good one. So yeah, he does awesome series on there. I would recommend that one, especially if you like the other one. It was good.
I will check.
So yeah, there's a lot of good horror stuff. But this time of year, when October rolls around, I really get that itch for it even more. All right. So you talked about how you try to read at night. What was the last book that you read?
So I'm currently making my way through the 48 Laws of Power.
Oh,
If you've heard of that, so it's not. So usually, I would. So previously, I've always just read fiction, mostly fantasy or science fiction. I now alternate between a fiction book and a non-fiction book.
that's
Um,
good.
and I'm pretty sure it's called 48 Laws of Power.
That sounds familiar. I feel like because I'm starting to try to do that too, to read like at least one nonfiction book a month. Because it gets so easy to just get bogged down, not bogged down, but get all into like all the fun fantasy and stuff. But we can learn a lot from nonfiction, so it's good to do that.
That's what I'm trying to do actually, to try and enhance both my writing and my characters.
Yeah.
So another one that I was still reading because it's absolutely massive, is Churchill. So the autobiography, it's called Churchill.
Oh, yeah.
And Roberts, I think. But yeah, so I'm reading that as well. So I've got several books on the go. But yeah, 48 Laws of Power is about the 48 Laws of Power and how to get power. It's a very Machiavellian book. But yeah, you should. It's very, very, very interesting. And I think as a writer, and for other writers out there, you can apply it to some of your characters to start to build out motivations and just give them more depth, I think.
Yeah.
The book is intended for people who want power. That's the idea of the book. But I'm reading it in order to, enhance the depth of my characters.
Nice. Okay. I like that. That's cool. That's a smart way to do it. I never thought of that. Like nonfiction, I always think of just reading it to learn something, about life or whatever. But it's so true. You can learn so much just to put into your writing and with your characters. So you taught me something today, man.
There's another book that I want to actually, because I do want to ask you about this. So there's a book I've got lined up that I want to read before the end of the year. Dungeon Crawler Carl. Have you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've read. Actually, let me show you this bad boy here. So I read the first one. I did the audio because the audiobooks are great. If you like audio, they're awesome. If you don't, then just the books themselves are great. but he started a Kickstarter right after I had read the first book, and I loved it. So I'm like, I gotta snag that. So I got this cool special edition. Look at this thing. Okay, it's got this cool cover on it.
Yeah, that's
Some
really cool.
shiny edges. Check out this naked hardcover though. It's got like the prismatic, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. Especially if you like board games and you used to play video games, I think you'll appreciate it. And the audio narrator, he does such a good job. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. And I didn't like I had tried a couple of lit RPG books in the past, and I was like, that's all right, but it just felt too much into like the RPG, not the RPG, but like the
game mechanic side.
The gamer stuff. Yeah, like where Dungeon Crawler Carl has interesting characters and like a good story, especially as the books go on. It doesn't even feel like lit RPG anymore. Like all that stuff's there, but it just feels like it's part of it, not the main thing. It feels like the story and the characters are the main thing. There's a lot of humor, and there's a lot of stuff you'll get from having been in video games and board games. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and they go quick.
Yeah, it's a genre I wasn't that aware of, but apparently it's absolutely massive. And it's growing pretty rapidly in the sort of way that Romantasy is growing.
Yeah, it is
always really big. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
It's good, but like it's one of those things where just don't. Because a lot of times people, if something gets big, they expect so much from it. At the end of the day, it's just a funny book, It's not like world changing or anything, but I do think they're fun, especially to sneak in between like bigger fantasy books or more serious books. It's fun to just have something like that, and the story it does sway, like because people die in it and stuff. So it does get like kind of heavy at times and serious, but then the humor is so good and the dynamics and stuff between the characters. It's pretty cool. I liked it a lot. I think you'll like it.
Have you interviewed any lit RPG authors?
I have not yet, actually. I got to look into it more and see if there's some more what else is out there, because there's a lot of it out there, but I've only really done Dungeon Crawler Carl, so I'll have to see. That's a good idea. I'll have to get somebody a lit RPG author on.
Because I imagine the appeal in reading it is because of the progression. So the characters level up, and there's a strong sense of progression and improvement throughout the books, which is very appealing. Watching a character get better is very appealing, in the same way that leveling up in a video game is appealing. I'm wondering, from the point of view of writing it, whether that is also appealing or not.
Is that fun, or is that? Yeah, I know that's true.
I'd say the fun of writing, especially in fantasy, is setting a set of rules for your world, and then having your characters sort of come into conflict and try and navigate those rules. In RPG, I imagine you've got pretty hard set of rules, right?
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I do wonder if it is a lot of fun to write. I don't know. I'll read one and then see.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's because I mean the what's that website called where you can? Is it Royal Road, or is it? I think it's Royal Road, where people, where you can do like a chapter a day or chapter a week. A lot of people put their writing on there for free and it's all lit RPG stuff, or mostly I think on Royal Road. But you're right, it is getting big. So yeah, that's interesting. I should look into more, because this is so huge now. I mean, I could ask Matt Dinneman to come on, but he probably would never respond to me. He's probably buried behind like PR and all that stuff now that he's gotten so big. But I'll have to see if there's some other indie ones or other series out there and try them and see if I like them, and try to have a lit RPG author on. That would be interesting to pick their brain and see what it's like writing.
I think there are from what I can tell, there are loads out there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot for sure. Um, oh, Tim looked up that director, Mike Flanagan. I knew it was Mike something, but yeah, Tim. It was he loved Midnight Mass too. It was so good.
Mm.
Let's see. Senna says she likes Mimic and Me. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Dungeon Crawler Carl is good, so I think you'll enjoy it. But some people end up not liking it, so it's just we'll see. We'll see what you think. But I do feel like the lit RPG stuff's there, the progression and everything, and it's interesting, but it's not like the focus of it. It's still character and story based, which I love. I love that mix. It works good in that story.
I'm guessing, or I get the sense that lit RPG is like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I tried. What's that other big one? The one by Will White. Can't remember what it's called.
Is this like He Who Hunts Monsters or something?
No, that is one I'm interested in checking out because it does sound interesting. But this is like, gosh, why can I think of what it's called? Somebody in the chat maybe knows. But it was one that got really big. Man, I'm gonna have to look it up now because it's bothering me. Something with soul in it or something, I think. Hold on. It's gonna bother me if I don't remember what it is. The Cradle series. That's what it's called. So yeah, Will White's Cradle series. Like this was book 1. I don't know if you've ever seen it around.
No.
So yeah, he was like the first one to get indie one to get big, and that series got big. I tried the first one, and I might try it again eventually. But like the very opening, like the whole opening part is heavy into the progression stuff and like a montage almost, and it was just like whereas like the Dungeon Crawler Carl, right, it starts off right away with like the story and the characters, and then all the stuff gets sprinkled in with the progression. So I don't know, it just pulled me in quicker and easier. So I don't know if I like lit RPG or if I just like Dungeon Crawler Carl. We'll see.
So is it, from what I understand, there is a difference between lit RPG and progression fantasy?
I think so. I think lit RPG, you're probably right, is more just has that video game feel, but it's not necessarily like progression, where progression fantasy is probably heavier and more strictly on the progression part. I don't know. Well, see, we're a couple novices in this subject here talking about it. But yeah, well, I'll have to look into that more. That's true. Good stuff, man. So basically what you're saying is after this series is done, you're going to write lit RPG is what you're telling me.
It's not what I'm saying. Although, who knows? I'm never say never.
Yeah, I know. You never know.
I'll sit reading.
Yeah. With that board game love and background, you could probably write a pretty sweet lit RPG.
Well, we'll see. There's quite a few more books to get through before I can even think about that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because I'm loving your book. So you finish the story first. That's what I want you to do. Well, we are coming up to an hour and 20 minutes already, man. Can you believe it? Time always flies when we're hanging out and chatting. It goes quick.
It does.
So we'll start wrapping it up. But thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it, man. It's just been great getting to know you, and it's great to be along on your journey and getting to read your books and check in with you. And I look forward to you coming on again anytime, but for sure when book 3 comes out.
See, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah. So I'll go into my ending spiel here in a minute, but before I do that, the floor is yours if you want to shout out your books or anything else before we go.
Well, I think we've said everything that there is to say. Yeah, Eluthienn and Isdria are out now, both on Amazon. You can check out some other content of mine on TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, go get the books. And also there's the novella that is available.
Yes.
As well. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So like Sam said, you can find them on Instagram and TikTok. And then down in the description below, the books are linked and the novella, if you want to check them out. They are there. Thank you, Sam, again for coming on, my friend. It was a great time. look forward to the next one. And everybody in the chat, you guys were awesome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. If you're watching this on replay, appreciate you too. But I will see you in the next one. And as I always say, until I do, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see everybody.